Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Long and I'm an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Services, and I am also a financial coach. And on this channel, I help you with tips and advice on winning with your money and tax planning. So in today's video, we are going to talk about a question that us taxpayers get a lot is, what is an adjusted gross income? So I am a licensed enrolled agent. So I have my notes here below. I'm gonna make sure I don't leave anything out because I am legally obligated to give you guys all the information that you need, and I wanna make sure I don't miss anything. So let's get started. So what is an adjusted gross income? So before we get into what is an adjusted gross income, the first thing we're gonna talk about is what is gross income, because some people out there, they may not even know what is a gross income. And I have honestly been at jobs before, and I've had coworkers ask me, what is a gross income versus net. So let's take these off so I can see you guys, so you guys can see me. So gross income, if you look at your paycheck, the gross income is the total amount of money you earned for that period of time, that dated period on your payroll check. So let's say you get paid every 2 weeks. So you have your 2-week paycheck in hand, and you look at the total dollar amount on there, which is should say gross income. There's a gross income on there, and then there's the net income. Now the gross income, that's the one we all like. However, then you look down a little below, and there's the net income, and that's where you're like, where did my money go? So your gross income is the total amount of money you made, and then your net income is all the deductions that your job has taken out, like tax deductions, if you have 401k, that type of thing at your job, or any other type of deductions that your job may be removing from your paycheck. So, and then at the end of all those deductions, they put the total amount that they're actually giving you that you receive for that time period. That would be your net income. So I hope you guys understand. Gross income is the total amount of money you made for that, for example, that 2-week period of time. That's that large amount that we all love. Then the next amount you're going to see is the net income. So just want to tell you guys that real quick before we get into adjusted gross income, because there's going to be some similarities. So that's that. Now we're going to look at what is an actual gross income. What I mean by that is gross income is wages, any money you earned, dividends, capital gains, business income, retirement distributions, as well as any other income. So any money that came into your household or to your bank account, any paychecks you received for the entire tax period. So the next thing we're going to look at is, talk about is the adjusted gross income now. So the adjusted gross income is your gross income minus adjustments or deductions to income that the IRS has allowed for. So remember, we talked about with a paycheck, we have gross income, total amount that you earned from your job, the amount that we like. Then we have the net income after your job takes out taxes, retirement contributions, all that sort of thing. That will give you your net. Now with adjusted gross income on your tax form, you have the same thing. So in your 1040 tax form, your first page, you're going to have the first thing that they want. The very thing that they want first, that the IRS want from you, is they want to know the total amount of money that you made for the entire year. Gross income, total amount. They're not talking about no deductions, no credits, none of that stuff. They just want to know, step number 1 on the tax form, it also is labeled number 1, what is the total amount of income that you earned last year. So again, that's all money. If you were an independent contractor, if you have business income, retirement distributions, wages, dividends, any money that you earn, any, all, and everything, it's going to go on line 1. So from line 1, the next thing on the 1040 tax form is going to be adjustments to your gross income. So what that means is deductions, just like with a paycheck, deductions. So gross income, deductions, net income on a paycheck. On a 1040 tax form, it's going to be gross income, adjustments, and then adjusted gross income. So same concept, just different language. So adjusted gross income is a good thing because gross income, they would tax you on that total amount if you don't have and don't qualify for any deduction. So you want to have your adjusted gross income as low as possible because then you're going to have less of a tax bill and more opportunities for credits because your income is lower. So that is what an adjusted gross income is. And again, I'm explaining kind of here, but I want to make sure you guys really understand the concept. So I'm going to go over and do a screen share and show you guys what I'm talking about. So you guys are going to see a 1040 and you guys are going to see a Schedule 1. So you really get the understanding and the concept of what an adjusted gross income is. So hang on. Okay, so hey everyone. So this is a 1040. This is the first page of a tax return. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it if you filed your taxes this year. This is the current form, Form 1040, year 2020. So this is the first half of the first page. And what we're going to look at today is the second half of this page. So remember we talked about gross income versus net income. So here, number one, the IRS wants you to put your gross income, your entire income. Everything you made for the entire year is going to go here. And then the next thing that the IRS wants you to do is you are going to put box amounts here. You're going to put amounts here and here. Usually what they do is write it on the line next to these here. So you see B, taxable interest, and then you write the amount here. I guess they don't, the IRS didn't have extra room for that. But anyway, so that's how you do that. But what the IRS wants you to do first is put your gross wages, like we just talked about. The next thing they're going to do is tally up taxable amounts of these items here versus non-taxable amounts of these items on 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A. So 2A is tax exempt interest versus taxable interest. So you can put the dollar amounts if you have any of those items, taxable versus non-taxable amounts, qualified dividends, ordinary dividends, IRA distributions, and the taxable amount, pensions and annuities, the taxable amount versus the non-taxable amounts. Same thing with Social Security benefits on line 6A versus the taxable amount. So taxable, all these boxes here, taxable versus non-taxable amounts. So for this whole section here. So the next thing that the IRS wants us taxpayers to do is to look at line 7 here, which is capital gains or losses. So you're going to put your amounts here, depending upon whether you have any of those items. If you have capital gain or loss, you're going to put it on here. And they're telling you to attach your Schedule D if it's required to do so. But again, today we are going to just go over the basics of adjusted gross income. So we're going to really speed through this really fast, but we're going to really look at adjusted gross income. So that's capital gains or losses. Next is line 8, other income from Schedule 1. Line 9 is you're going to add lines 1, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7, and 8. And then once you do that, this is going to be your total income here. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to make adjustments. They're going to look at your adjustments to income. So from Schedule 1, which we're going to look at and talk about in a moment, you're going to put that dollar amount here. Then they're going to look at your charitable contributions. You are going to put that amount here, depending upon whether or not it qualifies for a deduction. Talk to your tax preparer about that. And line C, you're going to put your total adjustments to income. So line C, you're going to do that total adjustments to income again. And then the next thing you're going to do is on line 11, you're going to subtract line 10C from line 9. So line 10C from line 9, total income, from total adjustments to income. And on line 11, you're going to put your actual adjusted gross income. So what they're doing basically is total gross income, then they're going to tally up adjustments that you qualify for, also known as deductions that you qualify for. And then that amount is going to go on line 11 here, your adjustments to income. So this is going to be the line where the IRS is actually going to charge you tax for. So they're not charging you tax based upon line 1. They're charging you tax based upon line 11 because you're going to have these deductions here. And you want to make line 11 as low as you can, not make it low. We don't do anything illegal. What I'm saying is qualify for as many deductions as you can, keep all your documentation and paperwork for the entire tax year. And so you can get the lowest amount, try to get this amount as low as possible because it's going to save you on taxes because this is the amount you're going to actually be taxed on versus gross income. Sorry if I'm explaining it so many times, but sometimes stuff is really confusing to folks. So I really want to make sure you guys understand. So the next thing we're going to look at is a Schedule 1. Remember, we just talked about here on line 10, 10A from Schedule 1, line 22, you're going to put that box amount here. This is part of tallying up your total adjustments to income so that you can find out what your adjusted gross income is. And so let me show you guys Schedule 1. So we're going to click over here. So this is a Schedule 1. This is also attached to your tax return. And this is called an additional income and adjustments to income tax form or form. And this is for the current year, 2020. So I made sure I got all current forms to show you guys. We don't want to look at old forms. We always want to be current. So this is part 1, which is first they want to look at your additional income. So if you have any of these amounts here, if you have any of these items here, real estate, rental, real estate, gains or losses, business income, all that stuff is going to go here. We're not going to look at that today. We're here to look at part 2, adjustments to income. So a lot of people want to know, what deductions can I take? What adjustments to my income can I take? What's going to help me save on taxes? How can I get my income lower? So these are the different items that you can possibly receive a deduction for, depending upon if you qualify. So once you put all the amounts here, then on line 22, the last line, it wants you to tally all these things up and put the amount here. So this is going to be line, let's go over some of these items here. So you can take a deduction for educator expenses. You're going to put the dollar amount here, the dollar amount that the IRS says you qualify for. Line 11 here, this is going to be for certain business expenses of reservists, performing artists, and fee-based government officials. Us tax preparers rarely see these guys, so I'm sure it's not many of you guys out there that deal with this. So we're going to just go past that. The next thing you can receive a deduction for is health, for the health savings account deduction. So you can get the health savings account deduction. You're going to put the amount here, and you need to, your tax preparer or you have to attach form 8889 because they want to see if you really qualify for this health savings account deduction. So they want you to fill out this form. You're going to attach it and you're going to put the dollar amount here that it says that you qualify for. So line 13 is for moving expenses. We're going to really pay attention to this one. Moving expenses for members of the armed forces. Now, the tax laws have changed, and the only people out there who qualify for moving expenses are members of the armed forces. So please remember that. There's no more allowances for moving expenses. So make sure that you keep that in mind. It's only for armed forces. And even that's contingent upon you moving because the Army told you you had to move. It's your job to move versus you just want to move. So again, they're going to, whoever qualifies for this, they're going to fill out form 3903 so that the IRS can see if you really qualify for this deduction. And then that form is going to be attached to your 1040 tax return as well. And the dollar amount is going to be put here in box 13. The next thing is, let's see, number 14, deductible part of self-employment tax. You can definitely get a deduction for that if you have, if you're self-employed or, you know, something of that nature. That's mostly for self-employed. Yeah, self-employed, it's called the self-employment tax. So if you're self-employed out there, you can get you can get a deduction for half of the self-employment tax, because when you were working, your employer paid that share, and now you can receive a deduction for that because you have to pay it now. You're responsible for it. So the next thing is line 15, self-employed simple and qualified plans. You can get a deduction for that. Line 16, self-employed health insurance deduction. Line 17, penalty on early withdrawal of savings. So the IRS is going to scrutinize that and see if you qualify for that. The next thing is line 18A is going to be alimony. The next thing is line 19, IRA deduction. Line 20, student loan interest deduction. Line 21, tuition and fees deduction. So again, you're going to attach this form 8917. If you qualify for this tuition and fees deduction, the IRS is going to check within this form to see if you qualify for tuition and fees deductions. So once you tally everything up there, they want you to add lines 10 through 21. And then they're saying these are your adjustments to income. So you're going to enter here on form 1040. So what they're saying is you're going to tally up, add line 10 through 21, put the total amount here, and then you're going to translate this amount over. Let's go back over to the 1040. You're going to translate that amount over to here. Line 10A, again, adjustments to income from Schedule 1, line 22. There we go, line 22. You're going to put that amount here. So the IRS is going to look at all these things here, your gross wages. Then they're going to look at all of these items here to see if you qualify for any of these adjustments. Then they're going to go over to Schedule 1 that we just talked about and see if you actually qualify for these deductions, and everything is tallied over here to create your adjusted gross income on line 11. So that is how the IRS kind of goes through your personal finances to see if you qualify for adjustments to income. And remember, adjustment to income is basically deductions. So you definitely want to get deductions. And the last thing I want to say is your adjustment to gross income, adjusted gross income is never larger than your gross income, because remember, your gross income is the base amount. So the adjusted gross income is never going to be larger than the gross. And then also the adjusted gross income can definitely be, and you want it to be smaller than your gross income, because your taxes will be lower, and that means you qualify for a lot of deductions. So that's that. Let's get back to the video. Thanks, guys. Okay, so hey guys, we're back. And so the next question on my list that most tax preparers get asked about adjusted gross income is, how do I find my adjusted gross income on my W-2? Now, on your W-2, there is no adjusted gross income. Remember, we just did a screen share. We shared together. We saw together that on a 1040, that is where your adjusted gross income is located. It's not on a W-2. Remember, your W-2 is the form that your employers give you in order to file your taxes, so that you will know what is the total amount that you earned as of last year, the end of that particular tax year, so that you can file your taxes. So it's nowhere on a W-2. It's on a 1040 tax form, page 1. That's where you'll find your adjusted gross income. I also want to tell you guys that an adjusted gross income, a lot of tax preparers throw words around, and the IRS does as well. But you'll, instead of adjusted gross income, sometimes you'll hear AGI. So instead of saying adjusted gross income, they'll say AGI. So that's our video for today. So if you need any further help on the topic of adjusted gross income, or if you have a tax situation that you need help with, or maybe you need some financial coaching, that's what I do here over on this channel. We do taxes, tax planning, and financial coaching. So if you need any help with those type of things, you can contact me at my email address. It is jessica@longfinancialwellness.com. And that's our video for today. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. And remember, adjusted gross income. Save your tax forms. Save all your information from the year so you try to get that amount as low as you can. All right. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.